Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be going over something different for our math lessons. This is the last thing we're going to be covering until the end of the ESY program. So I hope we can, understand this, grasp this concept, and just overall, just be successful in this. There's a couple of different things we're going to be doing with linear equations. As you can see here, we've already gone over slope-intercept form, and we've gone over point-slope form. So we're going to be going over standard form and things like that. So I hope you understand that. I'm also going to be posting some other videos, YouTube videos, not by me, that show you how to do these types of equations. All right. So here we go. So linear equations. Also, you can also, I'm going to post this slideshow as well. So you have that as well. And if you don't want to listen to this video, I highly suggest you do though. So, all right, here we go. All right, so identifying a linear equation. So this is an example of two of them. So the variables are added or subtracted. So variables we know are a letter that's represented by a number. So in this case, X is a variable. And in this case, there's all variables here. Ax plus b equals c. So that's kind of like almost like our slope-intercept form, like mx plus b equals y. So, it's kind of like that. So it can be either added or subtracted. So here we have subtraction and here we have added. So that's how you know that it's a linear equation. So A or B can equal 0. So in either case, this B can equal 0, this B can equal 0. It doesn't really matter. Besides X and Y, other commonly used variables are M, N, A, B, R, and S. So these are what some of the other variables you might see in equations. Okay. And then we have every linear equation graphs as a line. So what you're going to notice is that once we solve these linear equations, we'll be able to graph them on a coordinate plane, just like we were doing with slope and slope-intercept form. All right, so here's some examples of linear equations. So we have one here. So it says 4x minus y, and then we know that the line underneath means division. So we're going to do 4x minus y divided by 3 equals -7. This is another one. X equals 1. It's another linear equation. There's not much to this one, obviously. And then our next one, -2a plus b equals 5. Okay, so in this case, b equals 0, x plus 0, y equals 1. So that's going to be this one here. Okay, you multiply both sides by the equation by -1. 2a minus b equals -5. Multiply both sides of the equation by 3. So, and then 4x minus y equals -21. So you're going to do opposites. We're going to go over that in a second. All right, so basically now that I showed you a little bit about what they look like and what you should be doing, this is inverse operations. A lot of you have learned this back when you were younger as well in your elementary school years. So inverse operations, the inverse of addition, as you can see here in this picture, is subtraction. Inverse of multiplication is division. That's all you really need to know when you're doing and when you're solving for a linear equation. It's all you really need to know is that these two are inverse, meaning they're opposites, and these two are inverse, meaning they're opposites. That's all you really need to know because you're going to be using those to solve these equations. So, a definition of inverse operations is operations that undo each other. So, if you were to do the opposite, they would cancel each other out. That's what undo means. So, some examples. Addition is the inverse of subtraction, like I said. Multiplication is the inverse of division. And when solving linear equations, you must use inverse operations. You can't do it any other way. If you don't do inverse operations, you will not get the correct answer. So we need to be able to do that on these. So we're going to look at some equations, some examples. This is an example of a one-step equation, which is what you're going to be working on today for your assignment. So this is the equation x plus 5 equals 10. So what you're going to do is you're going to end up rewriting it. We're going to rewrite it down here. X plus 5 equals 10. So we need to find out what x equals. So as you can already see, you can see the answer is 5. Now, why is it 5? Well, because what you're doing is you're finding the inverse of addition, which I just showed you in the previous slide. That inverse of addition is subtraction. So you're going to subtract 5, like it says here, subtract 5, which cancels out the 5 and leaves you with x. Then you have to do that to the other side of the equal sign. So the other side of the equal sign has a 10 here. So you're going to subtract 5 again from this side. So whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. Let me repeat that. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. You can't just subtract 5 here and then not do anything on the other side of the equal sign. You have to do both sides, just like it says here. Now, once you do that, 10 take away 5 will equal 5. So we know that x equals 5. And we can actually check that as well by inserting 5 for x and put 5 plus 5, and we know that equals 10. So we know that this answer is correct. Next problem, we have solve for 2x equals 8. Now, I think we did a little bit of this during the school year with Miss Deborah, but we know that, let me just remind all of you that whenever you see a number and a letter next to it, it means multiplication. We're not using multiplication symbols, the X symbol for multiplication, when it comes to solving equations. The reason why is that because we are using the letter X for a lot of it, you can get confused and have like 2 X's there and not know what you're supposed to be doing. So we don't use the X sign for multiplication. We just put the number next to the variable, which in this case it is X, and we know that that equals multiplication. So that's multiplication there. So I rewrote it. 2x equals 8. So now with that, we have 2x. We know that that equals multiplication. What are we going to do? We're going to do the inverse operation of multiplication, which from the previous slides, we know that inverse or opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by 2. So 2x divided by 2 cancels out the 2 and just leaves us x. Now we have to do it to both sides, not just to one. So you're dividing by 2 on the other side. So you have the number 8. So you're going to divide 8 divided by 2, which gets you 4. So your answer will be x equals 4. Now let's check that. If you do 2 times 4, do you get 8? Yes, you do. You get 8. So the answer is correct. X equals 4 for this one-step linear equation. All right, so we're going to get into, I'm not going to get into this one today. I don't think I'm going to get into this next week. So let's not go into that right now. I'm going to do those with you next week when we solve two-step because I don't want to confuse any of you. So let me skip to the next slide. So right here is where you guys can look at how to solve the linear equation. So if you need extra help, I was just looking at this. So since we're not doing solving two-step equations today, you can look at solving one-step equations right here. Okay, so you click on the video. This is a YouTube video. He is a math teacher, so he created these videos to show you how to do these. So if you don't understand it after I go over all of this, feel free to go on this one only. Next week we will do this one, so don't worry about this one for today. All right, your math problems, your math assignment for today is, hold on one sec. Let me go into here. There we go. Day 21. So one-step equations. So as you can see, I already did one problem for you. You're going to open this up into the editing mode so that you guys can actually write on it. That's what I did to complete this one. So this is a PDF version, so just write on it as a PDF. Remember, you have those little tools at the top, so you can do that. So the first one is done for you as an example, and then you are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more on your own. These are all one step. So as you can see here, it says 26 equals 8 plus v. Now you can rewrite that if you want and put it as 8 plus v equals 26. It's up to you, but you don't really need to. All I wanted to show you is that when you subtract this, because this is a positive 8, right? So we're going to leave it as a positive 8, but what is the opposite of positive? Negative. So you're going to subtract 8. So that's why I have 8 minus 8, and I canceled it out. I put a slash through it. I was just doing that because that way you know that it's gone. You can't use that anymore. So then since I did that, on this side, I must do it to this side as well, on the other side of the equal sign. So I did 26 minus 8, and I got 18. Now that the 8 and minus 8 is canceled out, only thing left to bring down is your V. So then 18 equals V. So that is it, my dears. Do that for all the rest of these. Make sure you remember your negative rules, because we did do a little bit with negatives and positives during the school year. So just make sure you remember how to do those. If you need help with them, though, let me know. Or you can look it up yourself how to remember to add and subtract using positive and negative numbers. All right, and I will see you guys later, and have a great day.